Let's now move to Afghanistan, where the US-Taliban deal signed in February 2020 is the bedrock of all negotiations around the Afghan conflict. The agreement requires the US to withdraw its military forces from the country, with the United States set to withdraw its troops from Afghanistan before the 20th anniversary of the September 11 terror attacks. US lawmakers have expressed concern over the future of common Afghan people. We take a look. US President Joe Biden announced on April 14 that Washington will withdraw all remaining forces from Afghanistan before September 11, 2021. Given the persistent terrorist threats in Afghanistan, there are serious questions about the Biden administration's decisions. Recently, lawmakers of both the parties in US expressed concerns over the future of Afghanistan. US Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad testified before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee on US policy in Afghanistan, where lawmakers questioned him about how common Afghan people will be protected if the Taliban takes control after American troops leave the country. Khalilzad echoed President Biden and other administration officials in saying that the US would remain committed to Afghanistan and its development and human rights gains since 2001 despite the withdrawal.
We intend to maintain our embassy and will continue to provide development assistance, promote economic investment, and advocate to preserve the gains for minorities and for women, including their meaningful participation in the ongoing negotiations and their appropriate representation throughout society.
According to a report by the United Nations, the years-long conflict in Afghanistan continues to wreak a shocking and detrimental toll on women and children, who accounted for 43% of all civilian casualties, 30% children and 13% women. This has triggered a sense of resentment among the Afghan citizens at the government's failure to stop a campaign of killing that appears to be aimed at silencing progressive voices of women in the country. There are apprehensions about a possible reversal of progress on women's rights over the last 2 decades if the Taliban return to any sort of power with the withdrawal of foreign troops from the country. Hence, US lawmakers expressed concern that whether women would be safe if the Taliban becomes strong in the country.
What can you say publicly in terms of what the predictions are in terms of Taliban treatment of women should they take over the government? Again, personally, I'm concerned about public executions and other forms of brutality that will just be so incredibly offensive. And if that's the case, what do we do? Are we going to sit back and just watch that, wring our hands, and mourn the fact that we had made so much progress? And by the way, I think America and allies have to take pride in the progress that was made. I think that's probably our biggest concern here, is having all that progress be for naught.
Attacks on working women have intensified since the government of Afghanistan began peace negotiations with the Taliban militant group in September 2020. The danger of targeted killings is forcing many women to quit their jobs, being the only option, as they have to remain alive. Observers say that the new US administration should carry out an honest review of the entire peace process and push the Taliban to make consensus. The talks are crucial to find a lasting solution to the Afghan conflict. But it should not be on the Taliban's terms, which could wipe away whatever little progress Afghanistan has made in last several years.